Hi, Ilan. You once again
Hi.
predicted the result of the Israeli elections right. So, I mean, what does sort of Netanyahu victory means? Youssef Munayir recently called it a good thing for the Palestinians on the New York Times. What's your take on this?
I think that it's a complex story, of course. One is the fact that we didn't want a liberal Zionist government to be elected because this would have continued the charade of the so-called peace process and would have granted Israel extra immunity to continue its unilateral policies of colonization and dispossession on the ground. So in this respect, having the real face of Israel, so to speak, being exposed through that election is a good thing. But whenever we say this, we have to remember that it comes with a baggage. And the baggage is that it means more apartheid laws against the Palestinians inside Israel, probably an attempt to annex Area C in the West Bank, and the worst of all, probably another deadly attack on Gaza. So whenever we say, and I wrote like this myself, so I'm not blaming anyone, I write like this as well. But whenever we say we are happy, we should remember also the price that people on the ground are paying. And the conclusion from that is, yes, you want the Likud to be elected, but you hope that this time the urgency of an international action against Israel would be recognized, because so far it wasn't. So that's my basic take on this, yes.
Okay. What about the very high score of the Arab United List? What does it mean in terms of, I mean, Israeli-Palestinian politics or sort of Palestinians of 48 politics?
Yeah, it's a very respectable result to begin with. I think it has two different implications. One, it will indicate that even as a united force, the Palestinians in the Israeli Knesset are not counted by the Israeli political system. So even as a united force, the ability of Palestinians in Israel through representation in the Israeli parliament is very limited. Now, any one of us who would argue and has argued in the past that they should look for alternative ways to advance the interests and agenda of the Palestinians in Israel were always met by the sentence that said, yes, but if we were united, we could have made a difference. So I think this is a good thing, because people would see that even as a united list, the impact would be near zero. I don't think there will be much of an impact. And I think this will trigger a search for alternative strategies. How do you represent yourself as a Palestinian in an apartheid state like Israel? Is the only way, or is the best way through a parliament where you can't do anything? The second issue I would like to point is that this is a great model for other Palestinian communities of how unification can work between Islamists and, leftists, secular people and more traditional people, feminists and leaders of political Islamic movements. And I think this model of unity, I hope, will ignite the imagination of other Palestinian groups, because as you know, and we talked about it many times, one of the missing links in changing the reality in the ground is an authentic, united Palestinian representation. So maybe this would be good news in this respect. As far as an impact on Israeli politics, I'm a bit skeptic about it.
Okay, I'd like now to talk about our common project,
Yes.
the book on Palestine that is coming out right now in the US. Why such a title, On Palestine, and not On Palestine, Israel, for example?
Yes. I think the idea was that the book itself is a conversation. And there was a need to define what are we talking about. It's true that we are talking about Israel as well, but the main focus is what one can call the Palestine project, or what is Palestine. Noam Chomsky is one of the leading, if not the leading, philosopher and ideologues and moral conscious and compass of this century was not clear enough, I think, up to this book about his positions on Palestine. He was very clear on his position in Israel, but not on Palestine. And many people who are part of the solidarity movement, a lot of people who are engaged in and interested in the question of Palestine, I think wanted to have clearer answers to clear questions. And the focus of these questions and answers were on Palestine. What was Palestine in the past? What is Palestine today? And what kind of Palestine do we envisage in the future? And I think what we succeeded to do in the book is to have a very frank conversation with Noam about these issues, about Palestine in the past, the present, and the future. And I think there's no need anymore to ask, what does he think? What do I think? What you are thinking? I think these positions are far more important beyond our personal ideas. I think we represent, each in our own way, the main conversation that is taking place today among the solidarity movement with the Palestinians. It's not a substitute for the conversation the Palestinians have to have themselves. I think we made it very clear in the book. We're not trying to say we are representing the Palestinian issue. I think we are representing the thoughts, the debates, the doubts, the hopes and aspirations of everyone who is not a Palestinian, but is deeply involved in the Palestine struggle for various reasons.
Okay, last question. Without telling too much, were you happy with Noam's answers? Were you like, yeah?
With what? Sorry.
With his answers, with Noam's.
With Noam's answers.
Yeah,
well, without telling too much, as you say, let me put it this way. On the question of the past, I was disappointed, I must say. But readers will see in the book where the differences between us lie. And maybe because I'm a historian, I think it's very crucial to talk about the past in order to understand the present and predict the future. And maybe because Noam is not a historian, he does not pay the same attention as I do to the past. So maybe disappointment is too much of a strong word, but I still have strong differences of opinion. I think that the present, we came closer in analyzing the present. As for the future, I still hope that there's time to bring him closer to our vision. And every passing day, with the realities on the ground, it begs the question, how can people not see that the one-state solution is the only way forward? But we don't want to spoil the reader's tension here.
Ilan, thanks a lot. It was great talking to you, and yeah, I wish you all the best for the next few weeks and months.
Thank you very much. It was great talking to you, Frank.
Thanks, Ilan.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.